very few people will tell you how to actually set a two-stroke properly. It took me probably my first 3 years here before I finally found someone that would tell me what to really do. And we didn't really cover two strokes when I first got here, and I wasn't very good at them. And so I avoided them. You avoid things you don't like. And so what I found was a good tech manual will tell you what RPM to set it at. And you adjust the RPMs by adjusting the high-speed screw. There's no governor in a two-stroke. It will go until it runs out of fuel and runs out of air. And that governs the speed. And does anybody know how fast one of these turns? How many? 7,000? 10,000? These things run anywhere from 7,000 to 14,000 RPMs. So most string trimmers are running between 10 and 14. That's full RPM. If I lean it out, I could probably get 16,000 out of some of these. But that's pretty fast. So if you think about it, that's a piston traveling straight up and straight down twice every revolution at 16,000 RPMs. It changes direction 32,000 times per second. Or per minute, I mean. That was really big. So when you lean it out and you don't have enough cooling capacity in there, an engine traveling at that RPM will overheat within a matter of minutes, and it will seize. It usually don't last very long when you mess with it. So that's why it's important that I get across to you, don't mess with those screws. And if you do, I'll show you how to kind of get it back where it should be. And what we're going to do is we're going to lean it out until we get it at its highest pitched sound, highest point. That'll be the highest speed. And then we're going to rotate it back the other direction until it starts to smoke. And then we're going to go back to the middle. And it should be a slower speed than maximum RPMs. On a chainsaw, you'll tend to hear it kind of flutter. It'll kind of want to go fast, it'll kind of want to go slow. Usually you get a slight fluttering sound is kind of where you set it. Then we'll check it with an instrument to see what the RPMs are, and we can kind of compare the two. So let's just go do that. First thing you want to do, if you read the tech manual says to set the RPMs with the cutting head off. And most people don't do that. Most people have the cutting unit on. They don't really pay attention to what's going on at the cutting unit head. The length of that string is going to make a huge difference in how many RPMs this thing runs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up. We're going to run it. We'll check the RPMs without the cutting head on it. And then we'll put the cutting head back on, and then we'll lengthen the string. And I'll show you the difference that the length of the string does. The length of the string has on it, because as the string length gets longer, you have more resistance sticking out there. This tool right here is what we're going to use to measure RPMs. All I'm going to do is take this spring and set it next to the spark plug wire. And unfortunately, since we didn't cover electricity, every wire that has electricity passing through it has a magnetic field around it. And what this spring is actually going to do is the magnetic field we picked up in this spring transfers down, and it will actually read. This machine will actually interpret that information and tell me how many RPMs it is. There's a lot of tools out there that look like this. You don't have to plumb anything in. You don't need any special adapters. You walk up, set it next to the spark plug, you push the lever over, and it actually will just read that magnetic field. So it's a pretty handy tool. This thing costs about $70. So, but you can use it on any single cylinder engines.